I think it is from the perspective of institutional investors. The problem for GE shareholders is many of them are individuals. There are, very large percentage of the shares are owned by retired employees and individuals, and those folks, a lot of them were relying on the dividend. So although I agree with the decision to eliminate the dividend, because they certainly need that extra cash for restructuring and dealing with liabilities like a dramatically underfunded pension, this is going to be painful for those individual shareholders who live on their dividends.
Maybe for long term, is this right? I mean, do you feel right? I don't know if we've spoken since the latest CEO transition. Does it long term? This gentleman, do you think he's the right man for the job to try to bring GE back to some of its prior glory?
I think Larry Culp is the right man for the job, Joe. Being an outsider, he can take bold action, which is difficult for an insider to do. This reduction of the dividend down to a penny, a token dividend, just to keep the portfolios that only can buy dividend shares holding them, as Mike says. That's bold action, and I think maybe on the conference call, but probably more likely in a couple of weeks or months when he's had more time to look at it. I think we're going to see more bold action with the portfolio. The street is not willing to wait for the 2 to 3 years for Mr. Flannery's plan to unfold. That's just too long of a horizon for most investors to be patient.
So what does Larry Culp have to do right now? What's the next order of business? If you've cut the dividend, you say you're turning power around, how much patience does he get from the street, and what do you want to see next as an investor?
Well, he's not going to get a whole lot of patience, Becky. As you saw, John Flannery only got a year. Yeah. And he was, what he was doing was good. It just wasn't fast enough and possibly not bold enough. And what Larry Culp has to do is explain to us how he's going to fix power. In the current iteration of the restructuring plan, power is going to be 50% of revenues after medical is spun off and oil and gas is sold. So 50% of revenues is his poorest performing business in an industry that I think I can argue is in secular decline. So he needs to tell us how he's going to fix that.